Hi, my name is David Morrison. I'm a NASA space scientist, and I want to talk to you very briefly about Nibiru. I'm doing this because I received a note from a 12-year-old girl recently that said she wondered if the video I made 2 years ago was still valid, that she and her classmates were scared about Nibiru, and could I please explain, from a science point of view, why we know Nibiru is not real and is not a danger. You know, the simplest thing to say is just that there is no credible evidence whatever for the existence of Nibiru.
Well, you see all the other clouds underneath it and all the other clouds behind it. Yeah. At first they said it was heaven. They said heaven is right here, heaven. You open the door all the time. Hey, you know what? Maurice, that mama. They just pulled a plug on the lady that used to stay in that building right now the other day. I mean today at 5 o'clock.
It's us. Whoa. Look at the curtain part. It's like a circle right there. He's talking about right there. You're talking about right there.
There are no pictures, there's no tracking, there's no astronomical observations. In fact, the origin of the name is a little weird. Nibiru was a minor god in the Babylonian pantheon, probably associated with Jupiter. There's no record that they ever thought of it as a planet. Sometimes we talk about planet X, but that's a strange term too, because astronomers say planet X for an object that has not been found, a possible object, like Pluto. When it was being searched for, it was called Planet X. Once it was found, it became Pluto. So there really isn't any evidence here to counter, but I can quite specifically say how we know that Nibiru or Planet X does not exist and does not threaten the Earth.
Over the past century, astronomers have speculated about the existence of a mysterious ninth planet lurking in the outer reaches of our solar system. Although we've never directly observed the elusive Planet X, researchers keep finding more strange phenomena that seem to support its existence. If this giant planet exists, what does it look like? And how could it change our understanding of space itself? Scientists believe that Planet X, also referred to as Planet 9, is about 17 times bigger than Earth and made entirely of gas. You'd think it would be easy to spot something so big, but it orbits the Sun about 10 to 20 times farther away than Pluto. Finding this planet would teach us more about how solar systems evolve, but could it also bring about the end of days? So far, our hunt for Planet X has been mostly based around the idea of if there's smoke, there's fire. And in this case, the smoke is a bunch of weird things going on amongst the stars. In 1972, astronomers noticed some irregularities in the course of Halley's Comet, detours that they figured were caused by the gravitational pull of an unseen distant planet. Fast forward 10 years to 1982, when scientists were once again forced to consider the existence of a hidden planet. They hypothesized that an unknown outer planet could be orbiting within our solar system and causing the orbits of Uranus and Neptune to deviate from the laws of physics. But the most concrete evidence came in 2014, when astronomers noticed some distant dwarf planets and icy objects that all seemed to follow orbits that cluster together. Upon closer inspection, they estimated that the powerful gravitational pull of a hidden planet must have been the cause of these unusual orbits. So with all these signs pointing to the existence and location of Planet X, why haven't we been able to see it yet? Well, it's really, really far away. And out in space, things get dark pretty fast. The intensity of the sun's light weakens by a factor of 4 going out, and then 4 times again reflecting back. To put that in perspective, a planet that's twice as far away as our moon would be 16 times fainter. On top of that, the planet could be lost in the light pollution of the Milky Way, or the glare of a bright star. But with modern technology, astronomers believe we'll be able to find Planet X in 10 to 15 years. The leading team in California uses one of the most powerful telescopes in the world and has released a map of where to look to increase the chances of finding it through crowdsourced astronomy. If Planet X is real, it would redefine our knowledge of our solar system's evolution and give us key insights into how other solar systems are formed throughout the universe. For as long as serious scientists have been looking at Planet X, there have been others who have proclaimed that its strange orbit will eventually collide with Earth. But this has been rejected as nothing more than pseudoscience and an internet hoax. Scientists say that Planet X would be kept well beyond Neptune throughout its orbit, even when it's closest to the Sun. So, even though we can't see it, it doesn't mean our 9th planet isn't there. Maybe one day we'll develop technology that can identify worlds even further out than Planet X.
First, if there were a planet headed into the inner solar system that was going to come close to the Earth in December of 2012, it would already be inside the orbit of Mars. It would be bright. It would be easily visible to the naked eye. If it were up there, you could see it. All of us could see it. And the crazy thing is people who say they are observing it but never tell us where to look. Well, it doesn't take an astronomer to say that there's no bright object up there that's appeared in the night sky and is headed for Earth. Second, if Nibiru were real and it were a planet with a substantial mass, then it would already be perturbing the orbits of Mars and the Earth. We would see changes in those orbits due to this rogue object coming into the inner solar system. Astronomers measure the orbit of Earth and Mars precisely and frequently, and there has been no change whatever. Third, and perhaps most telling, if this object had come through the solar system in the past, and you remember the idea is it's on an orbit of 3,600 years. If it had come through in the past, its gravity would have messed up the orbits of the inner planets. The Earth, Venus, Mars, probably would have stripped the moon away completely. Instead, in the inner solar system, we see planets with stable orbits. We see the moon going around the Earth. The very existence of this stability in the inner solar system proves that no rogue planet, no interfering object has come through the inner solar system in at least 1 million years. So it's not real. Nibiru doesn't exist. We can't see it. We can't detect its gravity. And we don't see a signature of its previous passages because there weren't any. Now, some people change the story around and say, well, Nibiru isn't even a planet, it's a brown dwarf with planets going around it, or something like that. Everything I've said would be worse with a massive object like a brown dwarf. That would have been tracked by astronomers for a decade or more, and it would already have really affected planetary orbit.